Welcome to Presence as a Relational Gift. It's really good to see all of you. As human beings, we're really wired for connection, and yet often that is surprisingly difficult. Our attention can drift. We might rehearse what we want to say. We might worry about how we're being perceived, or we might protect ourselves from being too vulnerable. So today we're going to explore what it means to really be present with another human being. So please begin by allowing yourself a moment to arrive here. Settle your body in a way that feels comfortable for you. Notice the support that's beneath you. And the air moving gently in and out of your lungs. The rise and fall of your breath. Allowing each inhale and exhale to bring you closer to the center of your being. I invite you to bring to mind a recent interaction where you felt a genuine sense of connection. It could be with a friend, a partner, a colleague, a family member, or even a stranger. Perhaps you experienced eye contact, a shared laugh, a moment when the other person truly listened to you, or you truly listened to them, where you felt seen or you could really see them. Notice how your body responded during that moment of connection. Did something soften? Did you feel warmth or openness? Did your breathing change? What did connection feel like in your body? What did presence feel like for you in this interaction? Now, if it feels okay, recall a moment when you were not fully present, either with the same person or with someone else. Perhaps it was a moment when you became distracted or anxious or uncertain. You might have begun planning what to say next or monitoring how you were coming across, or your mind was drifting somewhere else. What did that feel like in your body to not be fully present? if you can, hold side by side these experiences of being fully present and connected versus being a bit disconnected. How does that feel for you? And I really want you to acknowledge that when you're feeling disconnected, that those responses are completely human. They're often ways of protecting ourselves or distracting ourselves. It's totally okay. I invite you now to imagine an upcoming interaction, something simple, an ordinary conversation. What might it feel like to bring a little more presence into this upcoming moment? Just a little more availability. Perhaps listening a bit more fully. Allowing more pauses. Being with that person. Listening for what perhaps is unsaid. Letting yourself respond rather than perform. Notice what feelings arise as you imagine this upcoming interaction where you're going to be a bit more present. You might feel openness or anxiety or curiosity. Whatever you're feeling is welcome. Being present in a relationship doesn't mean that we don't ever feel uncertain. It just means that we're allowing ourselves to be here together with this person. As we wind down this meditation, take a moment to notice your breath again, to feel the support that's beneath you. And to remember that connection often grows not from the right words, but from the courage to remain present. As we're closing, you can return your attention to the room around you. Perhaps notice something that you can see, something that you can hear, something that you feel in your body. And if it resonates, please carry this reflection with you that presence is one of the most generous gifts we can offer another human being, because in our presence, others often discover permission to be themselves. Presence is one of the most generous gifts we can offer another human being, because in our presence, others often discover permission to be themselves. Would love to invite you into this moment with your presence. Just noticing who's here. I just find myself smiling as I look at each of you. What came up for you about presence in your interactions? What does it feel like when you're present? Would love to hear from you out loud or in chat.
So I'd like to share.
Please,
I
Brenda.
find when I'm present with another person, or when I thought about the last one, that I could really feel that presence. I had actually specifically requested it, um,
Mm,
because the person that I was going to be speaking with, I find that there isn't always presence, and it was something that was really important to me. So I had specifically requested it. And it made such a difference in our connection and our communication and our ability to just openly share with one another. And it felt really heart centered, and just helped my heart to feel really full in that sharing.
how, Brenda, how did you request presence?
So we had been messaging to arrange a time that we could have a conversation, and I specifically asked, like, I am requesting presence for our conversation. And I said, I'm not saying physically, because it was a Zoom meeting. I said not physically, but like attention wise and energetically. That's what I'm asking for.
And they understood.
And
They
they
want you to
understood.
be present with your attention and your energy. Thanks
Yeah.
for giving us more words. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I found it interesting that I felt like I had to request that, because it's almost like it's so uncommon.
Mm. You probably have to request it more often than we think, right? It's, yeah. So I am not getting all the chats. I see one from Valerie. When I am present, I feel a shift in my energy. I am more caring and I have access to more wisdom. That's a very powerful statement that when you feel present, you have more access to your wisdom. See, everyone's nodding.
Um,
I think there's a comment before yours. Oh, here. Brenda, love the tulips, Isabel. Kate, I have ADD, so it's a challenge, but with good friends, I usually am very present. Great meditation. Thank you. I think Kate had. Kate? Huh. I thought maybe you left when you said thank you, but what does it feel like for you to be present? Like when you say you have ADD, so many people have ADD, and how are you able to be present?
Well, I think I'm really, when I have my heart open and I really pay attention, that's being present. And I do that when I'm heart connected with my friends and my patients, usually. I mean, when I
So,
play pickleball, I can see, I say, look at the bird, and they're like, we're in the middle of a game. How do you see that? I'm like, "Hey, I see everything. I don't miss a beat." But it's seeing
uh,
everything. It also helps me see everything. It's a different kind of present on top of being present.
Um,
hey, Kate, that's a pretty good strategy to win a point in
Yeah.
pickleball. Look at the bird.
uh, for me, when I'm present, um, what there's a sense of aliveness in me, but most of all, it's I feel and I know that I'm not just out there um, with that person. I'm also in myself, you know. So I have that sense of just yeah being together, but I'm including myself in that. So
Well, you have to, because if you're not present within yourself, you can't really be present with someone else.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's for me, it's also about trust. So if I'm scared or I'm especially when I'm not feeling well or whatever, and so I tend to like boundaries more out there. So if I'm scared and I want to be with this person, I need to trust that I can be scared and still be there and still be I don't know how to say that, but you know what I mean.
You're saying it really well, that you
Uh,
just need to allow whatever it is that you're feeling, that that's
exactly.
part of being present, whether you're feeling scared or uncertain or
Yeah.
totally connected. You're just allowing your feelings.
Yeah.
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 Thank you, Isabel.
Okay.
Sebastian, what's presence like for you? He just went off camera. Just
Mhm.
wanting to hear from a guy. David, what's presence like for you?
Every time we do this kind of exercise, it's like it's been there whole time, right? Like our breathing and our presence, like it's been there whole time. It never left us, but we just have to constantly come back to it. Like that's what's really fascinating
Mm,
for me. Um, and I've been thinking as we were doing this, like, why is it so hard for us to be in a continuous state of this?
mm,
Why do we even have to request that towards each other, as Brenda was sharing? And just trying to be present with that reality of this is where we are, what it means to be human beings, but
mm,
also being present with the question of like, it's frustrating that we have to try really hard to be present.
So you're saying that it's actually a continuous state. Presence is a continuous state. We just depart from it and we have to keep returning to it.
mm, mm,
Just thinking about, say, infants and babies and how they're just always present. And as we get older, we get more and more distracted. And so it's like returning to that original state. Yeah. Thanks, David. Does anyone else want to say anything before I turn off the recording? Andressa, I've been working on limiting my time on my phone because it's been an obstacle for my presence, and life feels very bland and hollow when my presence wanes. You have a very intense presence, Andressa, and I can see how life would feel bland when you're not like full on present. Love that perspective of a baby. Brenda says, yeah. Thank you all for being here today, and to those of you on YouTube for joining us and for subscribing. Next week, we are focusing on allowing this moment to be enough. So look forward to seeing you then.